Have you ever wondered why your dog behaves in a certain way? It's a question that has probably crossed the mind of every dog owner at one point or another. And today, we're going to delve into some of the peculiar behaviors our canine companions exhibit and the meanings behind them. Our furry friends, in their unique and charming ways, communicate with us. Whether they're chasing their tails, staring at the air, licking walls, or chasing shadows, each behavior is a form of communication, a window into their minds. Understanding these behaviors can help us better connect with them, cater to their needs, and address any potential issues. Take tail chasing, for instance. This might be a cute behavior to watch, but did you know it could be a sign of stress, boredom, or even a medical problem? Or consider when your dog stares at the air. It's not because they're daydreaming. They might be reacting to a sound or smell, seeking your attention, or it could indicate a health concern. And what about when your dog licks the walls or floor? This could be due to stress, anxiety, boredom, or again, it could be a sign of a medical issue. The same goes for when they chase shadows, which could be triggered by their predatory instinct, a playful mood, or a possible obsessive-compulsive disorder. Then there are behaviors like eating grass, scratching paws, circling before lying down, tilting their heads, fake chewing, and burying things. Each of these actions has its own set of possible reasons, ranging from digestive discomfort, nutritional deficiencies, instinctive behaviors, stress, anxiety, to medical concerns. These behaviors, as peculiar as they may seem, are deeply rooted in our dog's instincts and emotions. However, some of these behaviors could also suggest underlying medical issues. If you notice any persistent, unusual behavior, it's always a good idea to consult a veterinarian. But don't worry, not all these behaviors are cause for concern. Some are simply endearing quirks that make our dogs the lovable creatures they are. So, are you ready to decode your dog's behaviors and get to know them a little better? Let's dive into these behaviors one by one and unravel the mystery behind them. Ever noticed your dog chasing its tail in circles? It's a sight that's adorable and puzzling at the same time. But why do dogs chase their tails? Well, there are a handful of reasons. Stress relief is a big one. Sometimes dogs chase their tails to burn off some energy or to cope with their anxiety. Boredom is another reason. Dogs, just like us, need mental and physical stimulation. Without it, they might resort to chasing their tails to entertain themselves. Dogs also chase their tails to grab your attention. Yes, your pet might be trying to tell you they need more playtime. But sometimes this behavior might indicate potential medical issues. For instance, if your dog is excessively chasing its tail, it could be suffering from a condition known as compulsive disorder, or it might be dealing with fleas or worms. So a spinning dog might not always be just playful, it might need your attention. Have you seen your dog staring blankly into the air? It might seem like they're daydreaming, but dogs don't daydream the way humans do. So what's going on then? Well, your furry friend might be reacting to sounds or smells that you can't detect. Dogs have a heightened sense of hearing and smell, so they can pick up on things that completely pass us by. Or they might be seeking your attention. By appearing to be fascinated by something you can't see or hear, your dog might be trying to pique your curiosity and engage you in their world, but it's not all fun and games. Sometimes this behavior might indicate a potential medical issue. If your dog is often staring into the air, especially if accompanied by other unusual behaviors, it might be time for a checkup. Next time your dog seems lost in thought, it might just be their way of communicating with you. Is your dog giving your walls and floors a good lick? It might seem like a quirky habit, but like most canine behaviors, there's a reason behind it. Dogs may lick surfaces like walls and floors for several reasons, and one of the most common is stress. When feeling stressed, dogs often resort to repetitive behaviors to soothe themselves, and licking can be one of them. Another reason could be anxiety. Dogs may lick to cope with feelings of fear or insecurity, using it as a calming mechanism. Boredom can also lead to this behavior. Without enough mental stimulation, dogs might find their own entertainment, which could involve licking the nearest surface. But what about medical issues? Yes, excessive or obsessive licking can indicate underlying health problems. It could be a sign of gastrointestinal issues or even neurological problems. Remember, excessive licking could be a sign of anxiety or other medical issues. So if your dog's licking habit seems excessive, it's best to consult with a veterinarian. Does your dog chase shadows or light reflections? This might be more than just a game to pass the time. In fact, the reasons behind this behavior could be linked to their predatory instincts or a playful spirit. Yes, it's possible that your furry friend is just having a ball, amusing themselves with the dancing shadows and flickering lights. However, there's also another angle to consider. This behavior could be a manifestation of obsessive-compulsive disorder. Dogs, like humans, can develop these disorders, and chasing shadows might be one of the symptoms. They might be stuck in a repetitive cycle, finding it hard to break free from the chase. While it might seem cute and oh so adorable, excessive chasing could indicate a deeper issue. It's essential to keep an eye on how much time your dog spends on this activity. If it's becoming a compulsion rather than a pastime, it might be time to seek professional help. Ever caught your dog munching on grass? This behavior may seem peculiar, but it's not entirely uncommon. There are several reasons why your canine companion might decide to snack on the green stuff. Firstly, it could be due to digestive issues. Dogs are intuitive creatures, and they may eat grass to induce vomiting if they're feeling unwell. This is nature's way of helping them expel whatever's causing discomfort in their stomachs. Secondly, your dog may be trying to address nutrient deficiencies. Grass contains nutrients that your dog might be lacking, especially if they're on a strict diet. It's their way of supplementing their meals. Lastly, it could simply be instinctual behavior. Dogs are descendants of wild wolves, and just like their ancestors, they might consume grass due to instinct. Though it's not harmful, frequent grass eating could indicate a dietary issue. So if your dog is frequently dining out on your lawn, it might be time for a trip to the vet to ensure their diet is balanced and healthy. Does your dog constantly scratch or lick its paws? If yes, it's time to decode this peculiar behavior. Dogs often scratch or lick their paws for a variety of reasons, and it's not always about cleanliness. Anxiety and stress are common triggers. Just like us humans, dogs can feel overwhelmed too, and this might be their way of coping. Sometimes it's an itch they can't shake off, an allergic reaction perhaps, or a tiny thorn lodged between their toes. But it could also indicate more serious health issues. For instance, skin infections, hormonal imbalances, or even arthritis can cause your furry friend to focus on their paws. So if you notice this behavior becoming a routine, don't dismiss it as just another doggy quirk. It's crucial to understand that persistent paw licking or scratching might be your dog's way of communicating discomfort. And when this happens, a vet's attention may indeed be necessary. Remember, when in doubt, always seek professional advice. Persistent paw licking or scratching may need a vet's attention. Does your dog spin in circles before settling down? This is a common behavior exhibited by our four-legged friends, and it's not just a silly quirk. This circular dance is actually rooted in their wild ancestry. In the wild, dogs would pat down tall grass or snow to create a comfortable and safe place to sleep. This instinctual nesting behavior has carried over to our domestic dogs, who circle before lying down to make their bed just right. But it's not just about comfort. Sometimes dogs circle before lying down due to stress or anxiety. It's their way of dealing with uneasy feelings and creating a sense of security. And in some cases, this behavior could be a sign of a medical issue, like arthritis or neurological problems. If you notice excessive circling, it's always a good idea to consult with a vet. So your dog spinning might just be them making their bed comfy. Ever wondered why your dog tilts its head when you speak? This adorable gesture is more than just a cute quirk. It's a signal of your dog's interest and curiosity. When you start to talk, your dog might tilt its head to show that it's paying attention to you. It's as if they're saying, "Hey, I'm all ears." This head tilt could also be an indicator of a potential hearing problem. Dogs have a remarkable sense of hearing, and tilting their head could be their way of adjusting their ear position to better pick up on different sound frequencies. It's like tuning a radio to get better reception. But don't panic if your dog frequently tilts its head. It's usually just a sign of their curiosity and attentiveness. However, if it's accompanied by other unusual behaviors or signs of distress, it might be worth a trip to the vet. So, a head tilt might just be your dog trying to understand you better. Does your dog seem to chew when there's nothing in its mouth? This behavior, known as fake chewing, can be quite puzzling for many dog owners. It may appear as if your furry friend is trying to grind something non-existent, or is simply moving its jaws as if it's munching on an invisible treat. So what's behind this peculiar behavior? One of the most common reasons is stress. Yes, just like humans, dogs too can have stress, and fake chewing is their way of coping with it. Anxiety could also be a culprit, as dogs often resort to repetitive behaviors to soothe their nerves. But it's not always about stress or anxiety. Sometimes fake chewing could be a sign of potential medical issues. For instance, dental problems, gastrointestinal issues, or even neurological disorders could trigger this behavior. So if you notice your dog engaging in fake chewing frequently, don't brush it off. It might be worth a vet check. It's always better to be safe than sorry when it comes to our beloved pets. Does your dog bury its toys or treats? It's a curious behavior, isn't it? This harks back to their wild ancestors who would often bury food as a way to store it for later. It's a natural instinct that is carried on in some dogs. In the wild, a dog's next meal might not be guaranteed, so burying it ensures they have a backup plan. Stress could also be a factor. Dogs sometimes bury their favorite items as a coping mechanism when they're feeling anxious or stressed. It's their way of creating a safe place for their prized possessions. Excessive possessiveness could be another reason. Your dog might feel the need to hide their possessions from other pets or even you. It's their way of saying, "This is mine and I don't want to share." So your dog's burying habit might just be a sign of their wild ancestry. It's a fascinating glimpse into the world of canine behavior. So, we've covered a lot of ground today. We've delved into the world of peculiar dog behaviors and their meanings, shedding light on what may seem like odd, inexplicable actions of our beloved pets. Starting with tail chasing, we learned that it could be a sign of stress relief, boredom, an attempt to grab attention, or possibly a health concern. Staring at the air, while seemingly strange, is often just your dog reacting to sounds or smells, seeking attention, or it could hint at a medical issue. We also discussed how licking walls or floors could be an indicator of stress, anxiety, boredom, or potentially a medical problem. Chasing shadows, while often playful, could be a sign of predatory instinct or possible obsessive-compulsive disorder. We chewed over why dogs eat grass, which could be due to digestive issues, nutrient deficiencies, or simply an instinctive behavior. Scratching their paws could be a sign of anxiety, stress, or again, a potential medical condition. We took a spin around the topic of dog circling before lying down, a behavior that could be about nest building, stress relief, or another medical concern. We tilted our heads at the cute but curious behavior of dogs tilting theirs, which could be out of interest, curiosity, or possibly hearing issues. We chewed the fat on fake chewing, a behavior that could be a sign of stress, anxiety, or a potential health issue. And finally, we dug into the behavior of burying things, which could be an instinctive behavior, a sign of stress, or a manifestation of possessiveness. These behaviors, while unusual to us, are rooted in the instincts and emotions of our four-legged friends. However, they could also indicate medical issues, so if you notice any of these behaviors persisting, it's always a good idea to consult with a vet. Remember, if any of these behaviors persist or concern you, it's always a good idea to consult with a vet. Understanding your dog's behavior is the key to a happy and healthy relationship with your furry friend.